Training your back at home is arguably one of the toughest muscle groups to effectively target, especially if you're unable to do a full range of motion chin-up or a variation thereof. So knowing that, having access to a set of suspension straps can be a complete game changer when it comes to effectively targeting the mid and upper back while training at home with limited equipment, as well as when it comes to exercise variation and versatility of workout options. Today we're going to cover 5 of my favorite mid and upper back exercises that you can incorporate using nothing more than a simple set of suspension straps. First on the list is a simple suspension row. These are pretty straightforward, and a lot of you have probably done these at some point or another. Starting on about a 45-degree angle, you're going to have your hands positioned so that your palms are facing in towards each other and your elbows are tight to your sides. From here, you're going to lower your torso down. Actually, you're going to lower your entire body down until your arms are fully extended. From here, you'll pull your chest back up in between the hands. You don't want to go any further than your chest being in line with your wrists. And then you'll fully extend the arms again. Pulling the chest up and then back down to a full extension. If you want to make this exercise a little more intense, there's 2 things that you can do here. The first is to lift your toes up. The second is to walk yourself a little lower. The closer you get to parallel with the floor, the more difficult the suspension row becomes. Being aware that you're keeping your elbows tight to your sides the entire time, that's crucial. As well, we want to ensure that when you get to the top of the movement, you're squeezing the shoulder blades together on each repetition. If you've seen the video that I did on 5 chest exercises that you can do with the suspension straps, you'll remember that from a suspension strap push-up, one of the relative progressions was a clock push-up, and that's also one of the progressions off of a traditional suspension strap row, and that is a clock row. Now, similar to the opposite of the push-up, and if you missed that video, I'll make sure to put a link in the description for you. But from here, as we row up, we're going to do almost a rear fly out to the side. This is going to place much greater emphasis on the upper back, as well as the back of the shoulders. So, as you're pulling up as you would in a traditional suspension row, you're simultaneously reaching the knuckles of one hand out and away from you, keeping this arm fully extended at the elbow, and as you come in one fluid motion, that arm is returning back to the center. Just to clarify, the intensity of all of these exercises is primarily determined by the angle of your torso. Building off of those 2 row variations, I really like doing suspension face pulls. So to do these properly, we're going to assume a very similar position as if we were about to initiate a row. But from here, we're going to turn the palms down towards the floor, keeping a very tight grip on the handles as you should on every variation, just to make sure that you're aware of that. Always a nice tight grip to ensure as much stability for the shoulders as possible. From here, instead of keeping the elbows tight to the sides, we're actually going to allow the elbows to flare out because we're going to be pulling the head in between the fists. So the elbows come out, the arms come up slightly, and we're going to focus on squeezing the shoulder blades together at the peak of the repetition. And you'll notice that this places a much greater emphasis on the upper back and back of the shoulders. And on each repetition, we want hands to come just outside of the head. Each repetition should be executed with maximal control. We don't want to use momentum, so you don't want to be racking these off back and forth as quickly as you can. You want to ensure that you're deliberate with each repetition. Building off of the row variations, the face pull, we can't rely so much on our upper body strength in a general sense anymore, but now we have to rely on our upper back strength and the strength of our shoulders for the next 2 variations. The first one being a T fly. So we're going to assume almost an identical starting point to a suspension row with the arms fully extended. Now instead of bending at the elbows, we're actually going to keep the elbows fully extended, and we're going to instead prioritize movement from the upper back. So what you're going to do here is essentially open your arms up as wide as you possibly can, leading with your knuckles towards the walls on either side of you, while simultaneously driving your chest forward to where your hands currently are. So it looks kind of like this. Opening up wide, squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then controlling back down to the starting position. Opening up wide, only going so far as the tension remains at least minimally on the upper back. We don't want to stand all the way up like so, because now there's no tension remaining on the muscles that we're targeting. So we always want a little bit of tension at least. Controlling back down and opening back up wide. Controlling back down, and now it's crucial here, as per the previous exercises, maintaining a tight grip on the handles, even more important because of the incredible amount of stress that is applied to the shoulders on this particular variation. Now, building from this is the Y raise or the I raise. Now, depending on what angle you end up hitting on this will determine which letter better describes the exercise variation that you're doing. Either one works. Essentially, you're going overhead with your raise. So, starting in a full extension as you are about to do a row, but being aware that your hands are not neutral, your palms are actually facing down towards the floor. And now instead of bending at the elbows and pulling the torso up, we're going to raise the knuckles right up to the ceiling and lift the torso up. Pausing just before we start to lose tension in the suspension straps. So we don't want to get to this point here where slack develops in the straps. But a little bit of tension remaining, and very slowly we're going to lower down under control. Back up overhead, and then lowering back down under control. Because the majority of the movement is coming from the upper back, again, prioritizing that tight grip to ensure maximal stability through the shoulders because they're taking the brunt of the stress right now, right through the rear delts. And down. Now, if I was limited to just a set of suspension straps in terms of equipment, or I just wanted to incorporate these into my workouts, those would be my fave 5 mid and upper back exercises that I would choose from. So whether you have access to those straps and you're building your entire workout off of them, or you just want to mix in a little bit of variety and you happen to have a set, or you plan on getting a set, there is a link in the bio if you happen to need one. These offer quite a bit of versatility and variety of exercise selection. If you like the video, make sure you subscribe for more content, follow the page, share the content with anybody you know that could benefit from it, and we'll continue to keep adding value every single day.